and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Well, the dime store version of Eminem once again makes another lame, terrible, brain-dead statement. And see, it's people like this who have a platform who are trying to sheepdog individuals who are easily frightened back into the Democratic Party. So Kyle Kulinski, you know, him, is telling the people, and alongside his buddies, the Vanguard, that he regrets not voting for Biden. Guess what? I'm happy that I didn't vote for Hill Dog, and I'm happy I didn't vote for Biden. And I'll do it again. I'm going to vote independent. I'm going to vote third party, and I'm going to walk out of that voting booth with a smile on my face. And I'm purposely going to post a picture on social media saying I voted third party just to trigger independents, not to trigger independents, but to trigger liberals and the vote blue no matter who crowd. So, folks, just remember, when you have big brain people like Kyle to make statements like this, just remember, they're trying to sheepdog you into the Democratic Party again.
My purity test in 2020 was like, if I was convinced Joe Biden would just do a couple of the things that I support, just like one or two or maybe three at most, just like if I thought for sure he's going to get me victories on some three things I like.
Kyle, he didn't deliver anything. What are you talking about?
Then I would suck it up and vote for him. And my point back then was, I don't think he's going to fucking do it. Based on his whole career as a senator, I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's super goddamn conservative. But then now I look at it and I go, number one, I actually probably should have voted for him. I didn't.
Oh, you cuck.
And I actually didn't vote in 2020, but I kind of should have voted for him, number one. My purity.
Okay, so hold on. Hold on, because it gets better. Let's talk about it.
But then when he got into office, like, I was genuinely pleasantly surprised to see he did some student loan debt reduction.
Hey, how's that student loan debt reduction treating all of you people? Hey, type 1, if you're saying, Kit, I'm doing well, it's great. Type 2, what student loan debt reduction? What are you talking about?
He did the $1,400 stimulus checks. He said it was.
Oh, no. No. You did not just say that.
Loan debt reduction. He did the $1,400 stimulus checks. He said it was going to be $2,000. That was a lie, but we got $1,400.
Oh, if there's one thing I can't stand is being promised something you don't deliver. First of all, again, Biden said 2,000, but that was 1,400. And then they add on the fact that, oh, you got the $600 before then, so technically it adds up to 2,000. No, it doesn't. No. I'll take your $1,400, but I'm still waiting for that $2,000, baby. Where's it at? We owe it is owed to the American people.
Which was half decent in the inflation.
Hey, do you agree with Kyle's statement? Type yes or no. Yeah, it was half decent. No, it wasn't half decent. I better see a whole lot of no's in the chat. Audience, you all had better be putting in a no, because I know for a fact a lot of us just got swindled by the Biden-Harris administration.
Reduction Act, they overruled the Supreme Court because the Supreme Court said the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, is not allowed to do environmental protection. And so Biden and the Democrats slipped it into the IRA that we're redefining carbon emissions as a pollutant. So now the EPA can regulate it again, basically saving the entire fight against climate change by that.
The Biden-Harris administration is still allowing the construction of pipelines and is once again giving a lot of benefits and breaks to the large fossil fuel industry that is out here in this country. Hey, was there any type of accountability to the Colonial Pipeline that's leaking? No, probably not. What about all the other pipelines that are leaking in this country? The other oil disasters that are happening here? What about all the heavy industrial pollution that's happening to our Great Lakes, to our rivers, to our communities? But I guess Kyle's in his own world. I think that blonde hair dyes get into his brain.
One simple procedural trick, which was super base, one of the most base things I've ever seen any Democrat in the modern era do. He raised the minimum wage for federal employees and federal contractors through executive order, which is about 400,000 workers to $15 an hour. I definitely didn't expect him to do that. I didn't expect him to do project labor agreements, which, 200,000 union workers get higher wages.
Yes, the union workers. Kyle, you're going to talk about how Biden told the railroad workers that they weren't allowed to strike. Is that ever going to be brought up? I mean, Biden's record with unions is the most abysmal in U.S. history.
As a result of that, I didn't expect him to onshore 200,000 jobs when Trump had offshored hundreds of thousands of jobs. I didn't expect him to do even the mild gun reform that he did, where we have like some funding for red flag laws and we got rid of the
Wow, gun reform. What? No, he didn't.
boyfriend loophole. So if you have like a domestic abuser boyfriend, that you can legally take their guns now if they're a threat. I didn't expect, Ketanji Brown Jackson, I think, is a great Supreme Court justice. She was put on the court. We have the NLRB is genuinely pro-labor. We wouldn't have seen this increase in Amazon unionization and Starbucks unionization if it wasn't for that. He pulled out of Afghanistan, which
Wow, Afghanistan, that epic disaster. We pulled out of Afghanistan and then stuck it up the wazoo in Ukraine. So what drugs is Kyle on? I have to know.
I thought was super based, and then he actually told the media to suck his.
And first of all, again, stop saying the word based. Okay, you're far too old to say that.
Nuts as he did it when they were like flipping out over it, and he took a hit in the polls as a result of it because they hit him so fucking hard on that, and he went down in the polls. But he pulled out and said, "No, I'm not going to go back in." $15.
No pun intended.
For corporate minimum wage, billions of dollars for Made in America green jobs, which was part of the IRA, the PACT Act, which gave health care to toxic burn pit victims who are veterans, massively reducing the drone war.
All right. Let's add in my list of things that happened under Biden. Roe v. Wade died under his watch. His administration could have done things. This administration, the Biden-Harris administration, allowed a non-elected official, the Senate parliamentarian, to dictate policy in regards towards, you guessed it, so many progressive policies, right? Or either that, how can we ever forget that $1 trillion infrastructure package that was whittled down to nothing? This administration has turned a blind eye to our crumbling infrastructure. Most notable, the trains that are derailing all over this country. This administration has, yes, it pulled us out of Afghanistan, an epic failure of a pullout, and we are now stuck in a forever or potential forever war in Ukraine that could escalate to a far more violent conflict if diplomatic talks aren't done immediately. Under this administration, a lot of Democratic and, yes, Republican lawmakers are doing insider trading and getting richer and richer and richer. Under the Biden-Harris administration, nothing was done for Medicare for all or student debt forgiveness. That's right. Those two things. Got to bring it up. Under this administration, the Biden-Harris administration has allowed, again, for corporations, lobby groups to run amok and to interfere with elections. Under this administration, American homeowners and renters are struggling to make ends meet. Hell, there are many Americans that are being evicted from their homes and apartments. Small businesses are being shut down. Our cities are a wreck. Industrial polluters are impacting our environments, our communities, and so much more. And plus, again, this administration has been very pro-censorship, silencing those that want to think for themselves. Speaking of which, Kyle is now really triggered by his old friend Jimmy Dore when Jimmy Dore made a claim that Trump is a lesser evil than Biden, and to which I could say I can understand that perspective. And I'll tell you why. Biden's been involved in politics for a very, very long time. Now, Donald Trump, I know what to expect from somebody like him. He is never going to fight for progressive issues. Donald Trump will never care about student debt forgiveness or Medicare for all or anything of that nature. But see, the world we're in now is because of the policies that were endorsed and signed by Joe Biden. He's a career politician. He's the one who sided with the credit card corporations to make student debt what it is. He won't pardon or end student debt. He'll turn a blind eye to it. But here, let's listen to Kyle as he talks about Jimmy Dore. Because again, I guess, all these vote blue no matter who people just have Jimmy Dore living rent free in their head.
Huge red flag of a faux populist when you start hearing people like Jimmy Dore making the argument that actually Trump is the lesser of two evils and he's
that is
literally less of
literally
a fascist.
Just to be clear, that is of all the things he said, that is by far and away the dumbest shit I've ever heard him say. And for Sam Cedar to chime in and say, I'll debate him, I was watching that like, if he doesn't want to do it, I'll fucking do it. I'll do it.
No, Kyle. No. I remember at the height of when TYT was going after Jimmy Dore, and you were sitting on the fence being mild Kulinski, as Cenk called you, which you were. You didn't want to talk about it. You didn't want to talk or stand up for your friend, Jimmy Dore, who helped you and your channel out a lot, Kyle. And you want to debate Jimmy? What exactly are you going to say that's so thought-provoking? We got to vote blue no matter who. We got to vote Democrat. Get the hell out of here. And same thing, too, with the Vanguard. Look, RBN called you two stooges out perfectly. You guys your channel rose by interviewing Noam Chomsky during the the vote situation in 2021, right? And then Jimmy Dore played your interview, and then you had Jimmy Dore on your show, and then you stabbed him in the back. Compton J and Nick laid it out perfectly. You guys haven't grown since then. And you've been struggling to make yourselves relevant, so you go after RBN or Jimmy Dore just so that people can watch your stuff. That's it.
Do it. Because that shit is, are you like, do you have any brain cells left to make that argument? Like, that's the thing I don't like. He's a narrative humper and he's a terminal contrarian. So he has his narrative, which is like, actually, Democrats are the bigger evil.
And they are. They are. They are the bigger evil because they allow many of the neoliberal policies to continue on.
And it's like, if you follow the news at all in modern day, you would know for sure that it's factually false. Or you do know that and you're lying because you're a narrative humper and you're sticking to your narrative.
So let's talk about the Democrats. Let's really address who the Democrats are. The Democrats have done nothing to contribute or make our lives better. The Democrats have made sure that nothing would fundamentally change but get progressively worse. The Democrats have abandoned the progressive movement. The Democratic Party doesn't believe in fair elections. Let's be clear about it, because the DNC is going to weigh in on the Democratic primary. You, the voter, don't have the final say. The Democratic Party admitted that they are a private institution, and they get to pick. They get to pick who their nominee will be. They get to choose who's going to become the representative of the Democratic Party for the nomination of president in 2024. They're going to do it. We've seen examples of it in 2016 and 2020 where the DNC rigged the primaries. Now, again, I'm going to say a controversial statement here. The Republican primary is far more Democratic than the Democratic primary. There were so many articles and stories and videos that were showing people waiting 8 hours in line, 10 hours in line, a whole goddamn day just to vote for Bernie in 2016 and 2020. Polling stations being shut down, election machines not working, lack of paper ballots, people no longer being registered as Democrats because I don't know what they were supposedly viewed as people who could potentially vote for Bernie. That's the thing that happened. I didn't see the Republican Party doing that during their primaries. And that's not saying much, But that's a thing that needs to be brought up about the Democratic Party. Hell, let's even look back at force the vote. Remember 2021? When there were those 15 congressmen and women who ran on Medicare for All and never followed through? When we asked them to form a coalition to force a vote for Medicare for All on the House floor? Remember that? That was a thing. And they didn't help us. They said that we have to be pragmatic and keep our powder dry. People like Cenk Uygur and Sammy Boas Cedar were carrying water for people like AOC and the Democratic Party because we got to be pragmatic. Tell me, folks, how's being pragmatic working out for you? But here, let's see a debate between Kyle versus Kyle. And again, shout out to Indie News Network's very own Shetty F Up Shite Lib 3. Good old Joe. Let's play this video. Some entertainment for you all.
So Kyle Kulinski is being revealed right now in this moment.
I think it's a huge red flag of a faux populist when you start hearing people like Jimmy Dore making the argument that actually Trump is the lesser of two evils, and he's,
that is
literally
less of a fascist. Just to be clear, that is of all the things he said, that is by far and away the dumbest shit I've ever heard him say. And
in fact, President Trump, when he ran in 2016, stole some of those issues. He ran against the wars. He ran against the trade deals. You are a useful tool for the right, but effectively, you're just telling a right-wing audience what they want to hear and feeding into their narrative and into their delusion that Republicans are better than Democrats. He ran against the trade deals.
And
so
well,
if anything,
and Kyle, you might have a point. He also said he wasn't going to touch any of the entitlements, Social Security
That's right.
or Medicare. You make a good point. And
you don't want there to be misunderstandings about what you actually believe and who you actually support. And you have the misimpression you're sort of de facto defending the Republicans, or at the very least saying they're a lesser evil. So effectively, I'm serving what the right wing wants.
So Kyle Kulinski is being revealed right now in this moment.
You are a useful tool for the right if all you do is go on Fox News.
joining us now from Philadelphia, Rich Zioli, and self-described
Kyle, why are you on Fox News? You're being a useful tool, you jagoff.
liberal host Kyle Kulinski.
Can you stop embarrassing yourself, please? This isn't working, and it's not going to work.
And that's Kyle talking to future Kyle. He's sending a message through the wormhole.
Why overwhelmingly do minorities and African Americans, Hispanic Americans, why are they still continuing to vote in large numbers in the Democratic Party?
Because they're a trillion times better than Republicans, and we have a two-party system.
Hey, folks, do you think the Democratic Party is a trillion times better than the Republican Party? Type yes. Oh, kid, I trust the Democrats. They're there for me. They have my best interest at heart. Type no. Like, no. They have no follow through. They just put on a little fancy mask and say they care about me. I'm tired of being lied to.
We don't have ranked choice voting. We still have first past the post voting. So either the Republican or the Democrat is going to win. And minority communities have accurately come to the conclusion, oh, the Democrats are just way better.
By the way, Kyle, again, Dr. Cornel West, Jimmy Dore, Tulsi Gabbard, Max Blumenthal, Aaron Mate, Matt Taibbi, they've all been on Fox News, and so have you. Should people cancel you out? And by the way, again, why did he blonde it? Make his hair blonde. He looks like a dime store version of Eminem or a cheap Chinese knockoff of Ken.
They're just way better.
Can you stop embarrassing yourself, please?
Like, do you have any brain cells left to make that argument?
But if you do an objective empirical analysis as to whose policies help regular working class people of color more, it's not close. It's not close. So that's why, Sean, that's why they do it. Jesus Christ.
Can you stop embarrassing yourself, please?
Like, do you have any brain cells left to make that argument?
So Kyle Kulinski is being revealed right now in this moment.
Yup, 100%. Sometimes there's nothing more unpopular than the truth.
So, Sir, from Sir Switch Crookington, who tipped $5 to the Vanguard for this live stream of theirs. So you guys don't think you've ever taken an L? That's kind of cope. I know that RBN has a whole other thing to say to you too. But hey, again, it's going to be platforms like the Vanguard or Crystal and Kyle that are going to be telling you got to vote Democrat. We got to vote for Biden. Don't be surprised when Jenks says, hey, we got to vote for Biden. We got to stop Trump. All these people who have Trump derangement syndrome, they cannot think for themselves. They're so triggered by Trump because you know what? In all honesty, Trump probably his statements, all those people who are so anti-Trump secretly agree with him. That's why they're so triggered by him. That's why they're so upset by him. And look, just to trigger the vote blue no matter who people or any of these individuals who carry water for the Democratic Party, people are tired of the propaganda. It's not going to work this time around. Guys, we got to stop Trump because Biden's better. How? We've had 4 years of Biden. Nothing fundamentally changed. Inflation, homelessness, crime, corruption, all on the rise. Now, look, Trump's not any better, but nothing changed under Biden. It just got worse. And now we have this ridiculous conflict in Ukraine that should be stopped, but Biden's not going to do it. So when people like Jimmy Dore actually speak truth to power and actually, challenge you to think critically, your immediate reaction is, oh, Jimmy Dore is wrong. He's a grifter. He's a liar. He's a fraud. He's this and that. But I have to say, where's your evidence? Where's your proof? Because Jimmy Dore has been consistent, as is everyone else who's been critical of the Democratic Party. We have been consistent in calling out their hypocrisy. AOC is going on Twitch to play video games as Rome burns. Biden is senile and walking around, probably has no idea where he's at. Kamala Harris is a joke upon herself. And again, Nancy Pelosi and the other Democrats are far too old to give a damn about anybody that's not within their social circle. This once again shows the hypocrisy of a lot of these larger channels that want to put fear tactics, the same that we see from corporate media, to tell you, don't vote third party, don't vote independent, don't criticize the Democrats, fall in line and follow orders. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit on this channel and tell you how to vote. All of you need to make that choice for yourself. All of you need to make that conclusion for yourself. My only thing I'll tell you is this. The DNC and RNC are both one and the same. Neither is better. Both parties are inherently corrupt. Both parties serve corporate donors. They don't serve you. So when people like Kyle tell you that Jimmy Dore is a grifter and he's a liar, how? When everything that Jimmy Dore has said since 2016 has been more or less on point. Whereas the Vanguard, Kyle, Crystal, Breaking Points, TYT, Majority Report, they're telling you that, oh, it's just the Republicans' fault. Oh, we just got to be pragmatic and hold Biden's feet to the fire. How's that working out for you? I think people have been lied to enough. Vote independent, vote third party. And yes, the Democrats royally suck.